close your eyes gently, take a slow, deep breath in, and allow the noise of the world to fade into the background. This is not just another moment in your day. This is not just another breath. This is the miracle moment, and it is upon us. For so long, we have searched outside ourselves for signs, for breakthroughs, for dramatic changes that would signal transformation. We have waited for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, the perfect alignment of circumstances. But what if the miracle was never meant to arrive with thunder? What if it was always meant to arrive quietly within you? Right now, in this very breath, something extraordinary is happening. Your heart is beating without being told to beat. Your lungs are expanding without being forced to expand. Trillions of cells are working in harmony to keep you alive. This is not ordinary. This is astonishing. This is sacred, and yet we call it normal because it happens every day. Take another deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and release it slowly. Feel the ground beneath you. Feel the support that is always there. You are held by gravity, by life, by existence itself. Even when your mind races with worries about tomorrow, even when your memories pull you back to yesterday, this present moment remains steady and untouched. The miracle moment is not in the future. It is not in the next achievement, the next relationship, the next success. It is here in awareness. It is here in stillness. Notice the quiet space between your thoughts, that small gap, that silence. That is where peace lives. That is where clarity begins. And that is where transformation is born. You may have believed that you needed to become someone else to experience something extraordinary. You may have thought you needed to fix yourself, improve yourself, or prove yourself worthy of joy. But in this moment, as you breathe and simply exist, you are already enough. Nothing is missing. Nothing is broken. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw relax. Let your breath find its natural rhythm. Imagine a gentle light within your chest. Warm, steady, alive. With every inhale, that light grows brighter. With every exhale, it spreads through your body, through your arms, through your legs, through your entire being. This light is not something you borrowed. It is not something given from outside. It has always been there. The miracle moment is the realization that you are not separate from the life you are living. You are not a spectator. You are not behind. You are not waiting in line for something better. You are part of the unfolding. You are the unfolding. Think of all the challenges you have faced, the storms you thought would break you, the nights you thought would never end. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still capable of feeling, still capable of love. That resilience is not an accident. It is evidence of something powerful within you. Now bring your awareness to your heartbeat. If you cannot feel it, imagine it. Steady, persistent, loyal. It has never given up on you, even when you doubted yourself, even when you felt lost, even when you felt alone. This moment, this exact second, will never exist again in the same way. It is unique, unrepeatable, irreplaceable, and you are living it. That is the miracle. We often believe miracles are rare events, dramatic healings, sudden fortunes, impossible rescues. But the deeper miracle is awareness. The deeper miracle is being conscious enough to notice life as it happens. Notice the air touching your skin. Notice the subtle sounds around you. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Nothing dramatic is happening, and yet everything is happening. The miracle moment is when you realize that peace is not something you chase. It is something you uncover. It is beneath the noise, beneath the fear, beneath the constant striving. Allow yourself to release the weight of expectation. Release the need to control what comes next. Release the pressure to be perfect. In this space, you do not need to perform. You do not need to compete. You do not need to prove your worth. You are alive, and that is extraordinary. Let gratitude begin to rise within you. Not forced, not exaggerated, just simple appreciation. Appreciation for this breath. Appreciation for this body. Appreciation for the chance to experience another moment of existence. Imagine now that the light within you connects with something greater. The vastness of the sky, the depth of the oceans, the silent wisdom of the stars. You are not isolated. You are connected. The same energy that moves galaxies flows through you. The miracle moment is not a future promise. It is not an event to wait for. It is the awakening to what has always been here. Feel your breath again, slow, gentle, natural. There is nowhere else you need to be. There is nothing else you need to become. This is it. This is the doorway. This is the beginning of seeing clearly. As you remain here in stillness, let one quiet truth settle into your heart. The miracle was never outside you. It was never delayed. It was never withheld. It is upon you now. The miracle is not a future event. It is the awakening to the power, peace, and presence already within us. For most of our lives, we have been conditioned to believe that miracles arrive from the outside. We are taught to wait for a breakthrough, to anticipate a dramatic shift, to expect something extraordinary to interrupt the ordinary flow of life. We imagine flashing lights, sudden changes, or life-altering announcements. We think the miracle will be loud, obvious, undeniable. But the deepest miracle does not shout. It whispers. It does not force itself into our awareness. It waits patiently for us to notice it. From the moment we wake up each morning, we step into a world that constantly pulls our attention outward. Notifications, responsibilities, expectations, comparisons, ambitions. Our focus is trained on what we lack, what we must fix, what we must achieve. We are rarely encouraged to pause and look inward. We are rarely invited to recognize the quiet strength that already lives within us. And so we chase experiences, possessions, validation, and approval, believing that one day, when everything aligns perfectly, the miracle will finally arrive. Yet beneath the noise, beneath the restless movement of thought, something steady remains. There is a presence within you that has been there since your first breath. It has witnessed every joy, every disappointment, every fear, and every triumph. It has remained unchanged even as your circumstances changed. That presence is not fragile. It is not temporary. It is not dependent on success or failure. It is the foundation of your being. Awakening to this presence is the true miracle. It is the realization that you are not defined by your past mistakes or your future worries. You are not limited to the labels others have placed upon you. You are not confined to the fears that once felt overwhelming. Within you exists a quiet power that does not demand attention, yet holds immeasurable strength. This awakening does not require years of preparation. It does not demand that you become someone else. It begins in a simple moment of awareness, a breath taken consciously, a pause between thoughts, a decision to observe rather than react. In that pause, you begin to see that you are not your racing mind. You are the awareness observing it. You are not the storm of emotions passing through. You are the sky in which those emotions move. The power within you is not about control over others or dominance over circumstances. It is the power of clarity, the power of choice, the power to respond instead of react. When you awaken to this inner strength, you realize that while you may not control every external event, you always have influence over your inner state. That realization alone shifts everything. Peace is often misunderstood as the absence of problems. We imagine that peace will come when challenges disappear, when conflicts resolve, when uncertainty fades, but life has never promised the absence of difficulty. What it offers instead is the opportunity to cultivate stillness within movement. Peace is not the removal of the storm. It is the discovery of stability at the center of it. Consider how many times you have endured situations you once believed were impossible to survive. At the time, they felt overwhelming. The uncertainty felt suffocating, yet something carried you through, something steady, resilient, and unshaken. That was not luck. That was not coincidence. That was the inner presence holding you, guiding you, sustaining you, even when you doubted yourself. When we awaken to this truth, we stop living in constant anticipation of a future rescue. We stop postponing joy until conditions improve. We begin to recognize that the miracle has been unfolding quietly within us all along. Every heartbeat is a reminder of life continuing. Every breath is proof of renewal. Every moment of awareness is an invitation to return home to ourselves. Presence is the doorway. The mind often drifts into memories or projections. It revisits conversations that have already ended. It imagines scenarios that may never happen. In doing so, it misses the richness of what is here. But when you gently bring your attention back to the present moment, you step into a space where clarity resides. The present moment is not burdened by yesterday or pressured by tomorrow. It simply exists. In this space, you discover that you are enough as you are. The constant striving softens. The inner critic loses its grip. You begin to see that your worth is not something to be earned through perfection. It is inherent. It is woven into your existence. The miracle is recognizing that you do not need to become extraordinary to experience something extraordinary. You already are part of something vast and intricate and alive. This awakening does not remove ambition or desire. Instead, it transforms them. You no longer chase achievements to fill a void. You pursue growth from a place of wholeness. You act not from desperation, but from alignment. Your decisions become clearer because they are not driven by fear of inadequacy, but by an understanding of your inner strength. As awareness deepens, compassion naturally expands. When you recognize your own struggles and resilience, you begin to see others differently. You realize that beneath their reactions and defenses, they too carry silent battles. The miracle extends beyond you. It becomes a shared recognition of humanity's interconnected experience. The world may continue to move at a relentless pace. Challenges will still arise. Uncertainty will remain part of life's fabric. But your relationship with these experiences changes. You no longer see yourself as powerless against them. You understand that while circumstances shift, the core of who you are remains steady. The miracle is not something that begins with fireworks. It begins with awareness. It grows with acceptance. It strengthens with trust. And as you continue to return to this inner presence again and again, you realize that what you once searched for in distant places has always been closer than your next breath. True transformation begins the moment we become fully aware of this breath, this heartbeat, and this sacred now. We often imagine transformation as a dramatic shift, a visible reinvention, a before and after that others can clearly see. We think it requires a new environment, a new identity, a new set of circumstances, but real transformation is quieter and far more intimate. It begins in awareness. It begins when we pause long enough to notice that we are breathing. It begins when we feel the steady rhythm of the heart that has carried us through every chapter of our lives. This breath is not ordinary. It is not automatic in the way we casually assume. Each inhale is life entering. Each exhale is release. Without this constant exchange, nothing else would matter. Yet we move through our days without noticing it, as if it were insignificant. The miracle of breath is overlooked because it is consistent. But consistency does not make it small, it makes it sacred. When we become fully aware of breathing, something subtle shifts. The mind, which constantly travels to past regrets and future anxieties, is gently anchored. Awareness of breath draws us into the present. And in the present, transformation has space to begin. The present moment is the only place where change is possible. The past cannot be altered, the future cannot be controlled. But right now, in this sacred instant, there is freedom. The heartbeat is another quiet teacher. It beats without instruction. It does not wait for motivation or encouragement. It does not ask whether the day will be easy or difficult. It simply continues. Through joy and grief, success and failure, certainty and confusion, the heart remains loyal. When we bring our awareness to it, we recognize a profound truth. Life is supporting us even when we are not consciously supporting ourselves. Transformation begins when we shift from unconscious living to conscious experiencing. Most of the time, we operate on autopilot. Habits dictate our actions. Old beliefs shape our reactions. We repeat patterns inherited from past experiences. Without awareness, we remain trapped in cycles that feel familiar but limiting. But the moment we become aware of what we are doing, thinking, and feeling, we create space for choice. In that space, possibility emerges. You can choose patience instead of anger. You can choose understanding instead of judgment. You can choose courage instead of fear. These choices may seem small, almost insignificant, but they are seeds of transformation. Every conscious decision reshapes the direction of your life in subtle ways. The sacred now is not dramatic. It does not demand attention. It waits quietly for recognition. When you bring your full awareness to this moment, you begin to notice details that were previously invisible. The sensation of air on your skin, the sound of distant movement, the gentle rhythm of your own body. Life becomes richer, not because circumstances changed, but because your perception deepened. We often believe we need to fix ourselves before we can grow. We criticize our flaws, we resist our emotions, we push away discomfort. But transformation is not born from rejection, it is born from awareness and acceptance. When you observe your thoughts without labeling them as good or bad, you loosen their control. When you allow emotions to rise and fall without resistance, they pass more naturally. Awareness does not mean passivity. It does not mean ignoring injustice or avoiding ambition. It means responding from clarity rather than reacting from conditioning. When you are fully present, your actions become intentional. Your words become measured. Your decisions align with deeper values rather than fleeting impulses. Consider how often stress arises from imagining outcomes that have not yet happened. The mind projects scenarios, builds narratives, anticipates problems. But in the present moment, most of those imagined threats do not exist. There is simply breath. There is simply heartbeat. There is simply now. Returning to this awareness interrupts the cycle of unnecessary suffering. Transformation also involves recognizing impermanence. Each breath is unique. Each moment passes and is replaced by another. Nothing remains exactly the same. This realization can feel unsettling, but it is also liberating. If nothing is permanent, then pain is not permanent. Fear is not permanent. Doubt is not permanent. Change is constant, and within that constant flow lies opportunity. The sacred now is where gratitude naturally grows. When you become aware of what is present instead of what is missing, appreciation begins to surface. Not forced positivity, but genuine recognition. Recognition that you are alive. Recognition that you are capable of feeling, learning, and evolving. Recognition that even challenges contain lessons. As awareness deepens, identity softens. You begin to see that you are not confined to a fixed story. You are not limited to the version of yourself shaped by past mistakes or external expectations. You are a living process, unfolding moment by moment. With each conscious breath, you participate in that unfolding. Transformation is not about becoming someone entirely new. It is about uncovering what has always been within you. Beneath fear lies courage. Beneath distraction lies clarity. Beneath tension lies peace. These qualities are not imported from outside. They are revealed through awareness. When you practice returning to this breath, this heartbeat, this sacred now, you strengthen your connection to inner stability. External events may continue to shift unpredictably. Circumstances may not align perfectly, but your relationship with them changes. Instead of being swept away by every wave, you learn to stand steady within the current. The more frequently you enter this state of awareness, the more natural it becomes. It is no longer something you must force. It becomes your default way of being. Presence replaces restlessness. Clarity replaces confusion. Compassion replaces judgment. True transformation does not arrive in a single dramatic moment. It unfolds gradually through consistent awareness. It grows through small conscious choices repeated daily. It deepens every time you pause, breathe, and remember that life is happening here, not elsewhere. This breath is the beginning. This heartbeat is the reminder. This sacred now is the doorway through which lasting change quietly emerges.